Welcome to Pioneer Effects. Today is the 3rd of July, just past 10 a.m. Just a quick update from last week, Wednesday. We've had the Euro inflation data released last week, and it's at a record level. Major concern there, 8.6%. Currently looking at the fundamental ranking here, Euro is looking extremely bearish here, so still maintaining shorts there. Looking at large speculators, they are on the bearish side, so still maintaining shorts from that front there. So Euro Yen still holding shorts there. Looking at Yen, ranking is extremely bullish. Large speculators are buying, so this is potentially going to drop next week as well. So we will look into sort of re-entries, areas of retracements for this upcoming week. Volatility is on the high end. Last week we did see it push down slightly, but expecting to see some more volatility potentially through to this week as well. Oil is another one I'm looking into. It's looking interesting in terms of the technicals are starting to play out, actually a bearish tone. So we're going to look into that as well shortly. And also Canada is on the, well, looking at this, is currently sitting at 26, so still on the bearish sides of things. So we could potentially see some impulsive waves pushing down for oil. New Zealand, so Euro in New Zealand is looking good as well, to potentially start looking for shorts. We're going to look into that potentially through to this week. The only trades I'm looking to potentially close this week is Euro AUD, AUDUSD, as well as NZD USD as well. Due to the fact that the dollar at this moment in time, they are looking bearish. It is looking bearish. It is looking like it's down to push down, but it's still on the high end. It's still on the high end. So I'm looking for some more confirmations in terms of technicals, actually, to potentially look to short the dollar, but not just yet. So hence the reason why I'm staying out of any dollar trades other than the pound dollar. We're going to look into that as well, potentially today, as well as euro pound. Euro pound is looking good actually to potentially start shorting, but again, technicals, we need to see those technicals play out in order for us to jump into the trade. What's your thoughts on Euro Swiss franc? Actually, that's actually a good trade to look at, Euro Swiss franc. I'm looking to potentially trade it this week. Euro, we're short. The Swiss franc is potentially long due to fundamentals being extreme as well. So Euro Swiss franc is another one that we're potentially looking into jumping into on the short end. But now we're going to just dive into the charts and then look at any fundamental data releases for this upcoming week. Right, so let's start off with oil. So with regards to oil now, you can see here on, let's actually start off with the daily time frames. The daily time frame, you can see here from December right up until March, we had that massive bull run due to COVID, due to inflation and what have you. Then we started to see some sideways movement for quite some time. A lot of buyers in this territory over here, plenty of buyers in this territory over here, and also buyers as price was gradually making its way to the highs. And then we had that massive impulsive wave. So now what to expect from these areas here, looking at it from a technical perspective, looking at this from a technical perspective, you can see that price has slowly started to break down. It pushed up, then it pushed down, it broke this trend line here. So this is like one of the major trend lines here that I've highlighted in sort of in thicker, well, yeah, in basically this thick black line here. You can see that this was the uptrend, but you can see now the trend has broken. It has broken down. It came back for the retest, and now it's starting to form this sort of evening star formation, hence the rejection. So looking at this from a 4-hourly perspective, it's a lot more clearer now. Here you can see price broke out from this trend line. We had 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. This was the fourth touch of the trend line right here. So the moment we see a break, either way, you could probably see we could probably see two scenarios being played out. We could potentially see price push up, make this last push higher. The moment we see a rejection from our Fibonacci of 78.6 or 88.6, then look for any sort of evening star formation or any form of rejections up here, even from this sort of long-term trend line here, for us to push down lower. We started to make these massive sort of impulsive wave here. So you can see here, massive impulsive wave. So that's signifying now the price change movement has changed. Let's have a look at it from here. We could potentially see it push even higher, but I'm looking to trade this one with a tighter stop loss. So placing my fibs here, we did have that 50% rejection. So you can also potentially start to short it from market open, perhaps. And then from here, we could potentially see an impulsive wave lower. So that's that one. Let's just have a look at it from a large speculator's perspective. It's quite interesting, actually. Let's have a look at this from a large speculator's perspective. Actually, let's have a look at it from a retail trader's perspective. Retail traders are 61%, say 61% long and 40% short. So that's telling me right now there's a lot of buyers looking at this. There's a lot of buyers in these areas. There's a lot of demand in this area over here. So I'm looking for that massive bearish momentum down from current price. From a large speculator's perspective, there's slightly on the long end. However, the hedgers are heavily short. They've started to give up their short contracts as well. So looking at it from a commercial hedger's perspective, as well as retail traders, this is all clear to me that we are bound for push down. Euro Swiss franc. With regards to Euro Swiss franc, I did mention earlier, it is a great trade to look at for potential shorts. However, I'm looking for that deeper retracement to the upside first before pushing down. I did mention to you guys here, this was an area here to look out for. It was quite consolidated, price pushed out. We didn't quite have that retest just yet. So let's just clear this. Let's just clear this so that we can see a better picture of it. So what I'm looking for is that major shift up, that major pullback first before that continuation down. I prefer a retest of this sort of long-term trend line here. We can say that price has been pretty sketchy for quite some time, or we could have another scenario where price is going to push up to this consolidated area, reject, and push down lower. So these are the two sort of scenarios that I'm looking at for Euro Swiss franc. We've got 0.1, 0.2. We could potentially have that major pullback around here, and then we can start to look for rejections going down. So I'm looking for that basically for continuing that short momentum down, or even we could potentially have a rejection up in this area over here, and we reject these moving averages and then push lower. So still looking for that major retracement first before continuing down. Euro yen, as I mentioned last week, Wednesday, I was looking for a breakout of this trend line here, which we did have. Just a recap of it, 0.1, 0.2, and there was the third touch of the trend line, and also it was a consolidated region. So I highlighted it and said that basically I'm looking for that breakout. The moment we break out, the moment we retest, that is an all clear for a push down low, which we did have. So we're currently around 200 pips in profit. We could potentially have another pullback towards those highs before continuing down. But for those who did catch that, well done. For those who didn't, we can potentially see the moment we see the price come down into this region here, then we look for rejections from this descending trend line to continue down. So looking for that retracement back up to potentially add some more shorts to push this one down lower. There's a lot of liquidity to grab around these lows here. So targeting long-term target, that is, of 124, around 124 basically, is a good area to take out your profits fully. However, do take partials as we do come down to these support regions. So we could have that retracement of 618, 50, or even 38.2. So just bear that one in mind. And in terms of impulsive wave, you can place your fib on that last leg there. But it looks like we've started to have a rejection from this moving average over here. So we could have a pullback first before price pushing down lower. Pound USD. With regards to pound USD, is still extremely bearish here. So I'm not looking to buy around this region here because price could easily push down lower. I'm looking for that break above at least 1.25 in order for us to look for longs. However, still extremely bearish. So not looking to jump into this one just yet. Hence the reason why I've tagged it as a purple, as a purple color here. EURNZD, similar to EURNZD as well. I'm looking for that trend line breakout first before shorting EURNZD. So still waiting for this one to break out. So not trading this just yet. Euro pound as well, still looking for that break. Still looking for technicals to play out first before jumping into this one. Gold. With regards to gold, I am looking for longs long term. We are looking for longs long term. However, technically speaking, still extremely bearish, still continuing that move to the downside. We're looking for that. We're looking for a break, basically, a break of this trend line, a break of this descending trend line first. Push up, retest, and then look for longs when we do get that breakout. But not looking to trade gold this week either until we see some clarity as to where they're looking to take it. Pound yen is actually pretty much consolidated because pound, fundamentally speaking, we are looking for longs. The yen is long as well, so we could potentially see some sideways movements for quite some time before any major movements. Let's have a look at the dollar. You can see here the dollar now is still extremely bullish here. It has broken out of this descending trend line, pushed up, retested, and now we could potentially see it push even higher. However, I am only looking for short. So the moment we see this trend line break, then we are all clear to push down lower, and then we could potentially start to look for some longs on gold. But looking at the dollar, still extremely bullish. It looks like it has hit supply in this area here, but I'm not looking to just trade some supply regions until we see some clear direction as to where they're looking to take it. Volatility, as I mentioned, is still on the high end, still on the high end. It looks like it's bound to continue to push down to these lows before pushing up towards 48.50. So still targeting that. Still a lot of sellers in this region over here. They're most definitely looking left, and they're most definitely selling this. So there's a lot of liquidity to grab from these highs. So still expecting to see some long-term volatility to push higher, actually. Potentially, I don't know when it's bound to push up, but the moment it does, it's going to be an extreme movement up higher. So just do bear that one in mind. Hence the reason why I'm not looking to hold trades for more than a week. Just weekly, we're just looking for weekly setups. So for this upcoming week, looking for oil to push down lower, Euro Swiss franc to push down lower, but I'm looking for that major retracement higher. So I'm actually going to purple this one out. I'm looking for that retracement first before pushing lower. But technically speaking, it is actually bearish. So hence the reason why I've tagged it red. So it is technically bearish, fundamentally bearish. So we're looking for shorts. We're looking for basically a decent entry to enter Euro Swiss franc. Euro yen still holding up a short from these highs here, but we could see a retracement to the upside. So do potentially add to your portfolio the moment you start to see that retracement. Do add some additional shorts for it to push down lower. And that's that. So we're just looking for these three setups to play out: Euro Swiss franc, oil to push down lower, Euro yen to push down lower. For the rest of them, we're looking for some clarity as to where it's going to go before jumping into the trade. Any questions? Any questions? So you can see here with the pound, they are selling this big time. Retail traders 66% short. 66% short, that's crazy. So I'm looking for longs for the pound actually. But technically speaking, that is, it's still looking heavily bearish. So just bear that one in mind. Right, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Oh, and just before we finish up, let's just go into what is happening this week. Oh yeah, we do have interest rates. We do have an interest rate decision for Australia. I think it's on Tuesday, but let me just double check this. So we've got inflation on Monday for the Swiss franc at 7:30. Followed by Tuesday, retail sales for Australia. And then we have the big interest rate decision, and they're looking to raise it another 0.25%. Actually, that's 0.5%. They're looking to raise it to 1.35%. So, and that's coming from 0.85. So that's a big jump. The consensus is that, so that's a 0.5% rise. So do keep an eye out of this one. This is going to be a big one at 5:30 a.m. We could see some volatility. We could see the price at a discounted rate. So if the moment we see that interest rate hike, we could see some major movements for Australia. We could see AU. Let's have a look at AU. So we do know that Australia, we're looking for longs. Dollar, we're looking for shorts. So that means we could potentially, let's have a look at AU actually. AU could be the big one this week. Let's have a look at it from a daily perspective. It's extremely bearish, you see that? So it broke out. It broke out here. You can see that there's going to be a lot of sellers coming in. From a daily perspective, on the weekly, you can see it's heavily bearish. So we could potentially see price push back up to 0.73 this week. We could potentially see that. So technically speaking, it's extremely bearish. I'm not looking to jump into this one just yet. 0.1, 0.2. There was the third touch again in a trend line, outer trend line. Let's get rid of these supports. 0.1, 0.2. There's that third touch. And on the third touch, price pushed down lower. So it could potentially continue to push down through Monday, and then Tuesday, the moment we get that interest rate decision, I think it's going to push. It's going to push extremely. It's going to push like rigorously. It's like a major impulsive, a massive wake up, basically. So could potentially see some major movements, at least at around 1,000 pips, perhaps to the upside. The moment we see that, then the moment we start to see this inner trend line broken out. So what I'm looking for is potentially, say for example, Monday, we could potentially see it go down. The moment we see a breakout of this trend line, retest of this trend line, then we're all clear to push up higher to the higher territory. So that's what I'm looking for potentially for AU. So I'm going to keep an eye out of this one perhaps this week. I'll keep you guys informed anyway, but technically still extremely bearish, but fundamentally speaking, we are bound to see some major movements for AU. And then, yeah, on Tuesday, we've got PMIs for the UK. It's going to be really quiet actually this week. There's not much happening apart from Tuesday and I think Thursday or Friday. Retail sales for Euro on Wednesday. What time is that? At 10 a.m. Followed by PMI, S&P for the dollar in the afternoon. And then we've got a lot of non-manufacturing PMI orders. And then we have the FOMC minutes on Wednesday at 7 p.m. So Wednesday looks like it's going to be a heavy day in the afternoon. Followed by Thursday, employment change, CAD, imports, exports, and the balance of trade. And the usual continuing jobless claims, unemployment. And that's it. I think Friday, let's have a look at Friday. Friday, we've got the unemployment rate for Canada, followed by non-farm payrolls. So we've got the non-farm payroll and the unemployment on Friday. So if you guys are in profit on Thursday, I strongly suggest on Friday not to jump into any trades until the market settles on Friday, sort of say Monday, say, or the week after. So yeah, Friday looks like we're gonna have a lot of retracements. We probably might jump into some discounted rates, but I'm not looking to trade on a Friday or open any sort of intraday positions due to a lot of high impact news, and especially we've got the non-farm payroll at 1:30 on the 8th of July. And that's about it. We'll catch up on Wednesday. We should have some decent trades this upcoming week. So yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. Thanks very much, and I shall see you on Wednesday. Thank you.